The channel found the right Evolution Sportster and brought it home. The channel has been on a quest for an Evolution Sportster. Viewers have wondered where all this is leading. At times, I've been puzzled too. The quest has been a months-long project. Thanks for following and sharing your views and experiences at the community comments. Those following the channel's search know my objectives. Short of buying an XR1200X, I have emphasized an XL with good handling. My handling benchmark has been a string of British marks that I rode in the 70s. While no stock XL Sportster is a superbike or MotoGP material, I remained optimistic about finding a Sportster with handling ability and agility that at least resembled my vintage BSA 650 Lightning or 750 Rocket 3. That late 60s benchmark is not a lot to ask. Another concern has been finding a relatable, sensible motorcycle for how-to tech projects. After delving into the 37 model years and range of Evolution Sportster models made, after seeing the myriad ways that Sportster owners modify their bikes, it became clear that no one model or equipment is ideal for everyone. Leaving a Sportster alone or sticking with its factory trim is not in the cards for many owners. While we all like performance, my focus on handling, sport styling, and originality is not a priority for everyone. Trying to find a universal bike that everyone wants is just not possible. Ultimately, it comes down to each of us finding our own Sportster niche. Once I got past trying to find a universally appealing Sportster, finding my own right Evolution Sportster became the goal. Choices boiled down to rigid mount versus rubber mount engines, a carburetor versus EFI, and a laundry list of factory chassis and stamina upgrades that took place over the model years. There are milestone Evolution Sportster improvements and models with performance gains. Serviceability is important since I will be the one doing all the maintenance, service, repairs, upgrades, and restorative work on the motorcycle. Searching the country for the right bike boiled down to 4 Evolution Sportster offerings that made the final pick. Each led to ads worth following up. Online distance searches relied on asking the right questions and considering the seller's assessments and descriptions of their motorcycles. With sight unseen motorcycles, we need to weigh the responses carefully. After narrowing the field, this week, one of the 4 final candidates came home to the Motorcycle Tech and Travel Channel shop studio. First off, I considered rigid mount best picks. Using the British bikes as a standard for handling and curb weight, I gravitated toward the 1998 to 2003 XL1200S Sport and the 2002 and 2003 XL883R. The 883R conjures images of an XR750 flat-track racer. Scarcity of rigid frame 883Rs has spiked the prices, in some cases to collectible bike levels. In showroom condition with only 75 original miles, one remarkable time capsule sold at a bring-a-trailer auction for $10,000. Next to consider, for meeting performance expectations, a rigid frame or rubber mount XL883 would likely wind up with a big bore kit. This would diminish the bike's originality, and possibly its worth. The more readily available XL1200S Sport remained high on my list. This model, described by Harley-Davidson as a factory hot rod, features a sport chassis with reservoir rear adjustable shocks and sporty adjustable front fork tuning. Stripped of frills, the rigid frame contributes to a lighter curb weight and the best Evolution Sportster ride height for a maximum lean angle. To power through turns, the KN-CV40 carbureted engine has hotter camshaft profiles and dual spark plug Buell Lightning cylinder heads. Its notably lighter curb weight is in the ballpark of my vintage BSA Rocket 3. I pored over National Cycle Trader, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace ads for prospects. Finding an XL1200S Sport in near-stock condition became a priority. At Cycle Trader, the first XL1200S in pristine lower mileage, nearly original condition was 2,800 miles away. I seriously considered the drive or perils of buying and shipping an unseen bike. The price was okay for the low mileage and near factory condition. An aftermarket seat and backrest were out of place, the chrome exhaust pipes as well. Distance away killed that deal, though that bike's pristine condition stayed with me. Recently, I discovered this 2001 XL1200S in original condition with only 10,000 documented 2-owner miles. Without modifications, a clean and apparently well-maintained bike met my standards. Available at Facebook Marketplace in the Pacific Northwest, this XL1200S earned a follow-up. 600 miles away, I relied on the owner's integrity and insight into his Sportster's originality, current condition, and its history. History is everything when buying a pre-owned vehicle. Next up was this backup XL1200S, also at the Northwest and closer to home. This motorcycle is stock to a point. The exhaust is not original, nor the seat. A rear rack is an accessory add-on. Also with 10,000 miles, the triple disc brake authentic XL1200S still caught my attention. I considered the cost of restoration parts to bring the motorcycle back to stock appearance and condition. After following this 5-month-old ad for weeks, I contacted the seller through Facebook Marketplace Messenger. The owner shared that his brother now wanted the bike. He planned to change the ad to a pending sale. I remained on the backup buyers list in case anything changed. Community members commented and split their votes around rubber mount versus rigid mount engines and frames. There have been widely mixed opinions about vibration issues with rigid mount frames. Having ridden 60s British thumper and parallel twin motorcycles, I'm familiar with vibration. Most agree on the advantages of 2003 and older models with a trapdoor transmission for easier service access. Carburation through 2006 models is generally considered a simpler setup for troubleshooting and serviceability. This led to consideration of a carburetor-era XL1200R Roadster. Weighing around 60 pounds more than a rigid-mount 2002 or 2003 XL883R, the 1200R engine compensates with ample torque. A 2006 model XL1200R, very original in appearance, came up at Craigslist. 450 miles away, the seller noted the 29,000 miles on the odometer. Higher than most of us find comforting, especially without a trapdoor transmission. The engine comes out of the frame for transmission service. Priced right, I followed up with messages. Last under consideration was a late Roadster. Our local Reno Harley-Davidson dealership had a 2017 model with unusually low 1,700 original miles. The model boasts a show of 43mm inverted front fork and triple disc brakes. 2 front rotors and 1 rear disc actually began with the XL1200S Sport during the rigid mount era. Dual disc brakes are unique to the XL1200S Sport, the XL883R, rubber mount XL1200R, and the late EFI XL1200CX Roadster. The XL1200CX is a factory cafe racer theme that sold from 2016 to 2021. The most recent Evolution Sportster with a handling and performance motif. Despite its hefty 565 to 570 pounds wet weight, the XL1200CX grabbed my attention. EFI induction breathed extra punch into 2007 up models, delivering better torque, horsepower, and fuel efficiency. The XL1200CX Roadster was proclaimed the corner cutter of late Evolution Sportster rubber mount models. Image, profile, and an alluring inverted front fork aside, the late Roadster falls a whopping 6 degrees short of the rigid frame XL1200S Sport for lean angle. It also hits the scale with 50 more pounds dry weight than the XL1200S. Despite these underwhelming stats, a late EFI XL1200CX Roadster was still a serious consideration. Its aesthetics are hard to beat if riding a sportier Sportster is the aim. The ultra-low miles on the local dealership's offering earned the bike an especially high-price tag. At Cycle Trader, I kept looking and found this Performance Orange 2020 model aesthetically pleasing and very original. A Texas dealership dropped off a high price tag to a sale price below $6,000. This got my attention and encouraged a search on Google Maps for directions to the dealership and the travel mileage. The caveat for the low price on this Roadster was the motorcycle's eyebrow-raising 49,000 miles on the odometer. The tempting price helped offset the cost of anticipated service work. Of course, I'd be doing any labor. Trade-offs here were the bike's pristine appearance and low price tag versus the prospect of pulling the engine from the frame to do transmission work or a complete engine refresh. While this work would make an interesting step-by-step project for the channel, it would be nice to ride the bike for a while before taking that plunge. In fairness, there are Sportsters with zero engine and transmission issues at over 100,000 miles. By appearance, this bike looks like a long-distance commuter, and that kind of highway mileage is often the least damaging to an engine. The EFI on the Texas XL1200CX poses an opportunity for how-to troubleshooting and diagnostics on the 2007 Up Evolution Sportster models. This would be valuable to many viewers. Without buying an XL1200CX Roadster, I have a friendly neighbor with a late 883 Iron. His motorcycle is available whenever I need to demonstrate tune-up and diagnostics work on an Evolution Sportster with EFI. So the search ended with exactly the right purchase. At pre-dawn 2 days ago, I rolled the dice and headed for Troutdale, Oregon, with a cashier's check on board. The Facebook Marketplace seller had represented the 2001 Harley-Davidson XL1200S Sport very accurately in our phone conversations. This two-owner motorcycle, stock and unmodified, was in the pristine condition we had discussed by phone. When a seller like James has integrity and a thorough knowledge of the motorcycle, a long-distance purchase can work. James was detailed and a reliable, honest seller. On his word, I made the 600-mile journey. The bike has just 10,090 odometer miles. Everything is right and original. This sale worked. Yes, the channel now has its Evolution Sportster. James, the seller, bought this XL1200S Sport model in 2022. The original owner had maintained the motorcycle meticulously. James became the lucky buyer. Now, I have been equally fortunate to buy the motorcycle from James. He preserved its originality and treated the Sportster with great respect and care. The bike still has a newness to it and is a perfect new addition to the channel. The Mirage Orange, pre-owned XL1200S Evolution Sportster is now at the channel's studio. In the next segment, we'll take a close-up look at the Sportster and get ready to ride.